down the sprint qualifying results, we welcome in our racing expert, Tim Hauraney, and a bit of a disappointing finish for Max Verstappen, finishing 5 spots lower than Lando Norris, who took pole position. So does this result accurately capture what you think the gap will be in the race?
I don't think so, no. I mean, the thing with Red Bull Racing and their car in particular, I mean, obviously it has some imbalance issues, particularly here in Brazil. And I think one of the good traits that I think the team has in pulling apart all of this is where is the second car, and that's Yuki Tsunoda. And it's been a disaster of a weekend for Yuki so far. It didn't even make it out of SQ1. So essentially, I think what the team needs to do is what they've done in the past, go back to the drawing board, really turn this car upside down and try and give Max a better car when it comes to qualifying for the main Grand Prix, because I think that's going to be the most important part of this weekend for Max.
Well, it's supposed to rain, too, down in Brazil, which would hamper most of us in our driving. But earlier in the week, you labeled that as an advantage for Max. Now that he's starting in 6th, does that change your mind at all?
No, because I think when it comes to wet weather racing, my opinion is that Verstappen's the best one out there. And if you go back to last year, Brazil, he was P17 and it was raining and he ended up winning it, and it was one of the greatest drives I've ever seen. And so I think when it comes to where he's starting from on Saturday for that sprint, I honestly don't think the rain's going to hamper him that much. If at all, it's going to actually probably allow him to actually win the race. He has that sense of knowing where the grip is when things are wet, and where Lando, I think, really struggles in that respect.
Okay, and now looking at everything big picture, I mean, this title race is coming down to the wire. Only 3 more stops after this weekend.
It's awesome.
Yeah, we've got this 3-horse race going on between Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, and Max. So who's got the most to lose this weekend?
That's a really good question, Sarah. I think Oscar Piastri does. When I break this all down and seeing what his last 4 races have been, it's been a real struggle. And I think for Oscar, in the week off that they had in between Mexico and Brazil, I think it was really important for him to go back to the factory, understand where he's gone wrong, so he can start to rebuild that confidence. And the thing with a driver in particular, when it comes to confidence, is you can have it, and you can have it in spades, but then it can be gone so quickly. And I think for Oscar this weekend, and in particular in Friday, free practice 1, I felt that he got off to a really good start. And I think for him, that's what he needs, is to just have a solid weekend. Try not to get too down, so he can carry that confidence, because the next race up is going to be Vegas. I think McLaren's going to struggle there, and then Qatar, and you just don't want this to compound itself. So for Piastri, I think this weekend for him is super important.
Okay, well, we'll be watching. And between the 3, Oscar is the only one to not win a sprint race this season.